Hi, it's me, Chio. Welcome. So today I am doing a book review and I'm reviewing Get a Life, Chloe Brown. And before I even get into what the book is about, I just want to thank the book community because without you, I would never have read this book. I really wouldn't have, because the idea of it, I was thinking, with the title, I was thinking that the book was more in the line of what says Sarah Burgess is a loser, and I heard I said this before. People were like, oh no, there's no way it's like that. And at first, I really didn't think it to be anything different from those kinds of movies or stories. And I was just so turned off because that movie really was terrible. So I didn't want to read this. But I kept seeing so many good reviews and so many posts about this book. And I was convinced finally to buy it. And I did. And I wasn't sure when I was going to read it. So after a lot of thinking about it, I chose Valentine period to read this book. So that was a great choice, really great choice. Let me explain what the story is about before I get into why I'm so happy that I read this book. So the story follows Chloe Brown, who is a chronically ill computer geek with a goal, a plan, and a list. And after almost but not quite dying, she's come up with a list of directives to help her get a life. So this is basically what it is. She's has chronic pains, to put it mildly, and after basically shutting herself off and just having a system that now works for her, she has an experience that scares her into realizing that there's more she could do to enjoy her life, and this is her plan to get a life. So basically she's the main lead, and the leading male lead, his name is Redford Morgan, also known as Red. So this story is basically how their experiences have shaped who they are and who they want to be. I've had experiences reading books like this. It's not that far off from how a lot of romance books are written. So I really thought this story would just be there, or I'll have a lot to complain about. But I didn't. I really didn't have anything important to complain about. And this was my first 5-star read of 2021. I haven't had any other one yet. Hopefully I'll have so much more, but this was my first 5-star read and I'm so happy. I was thinking for a while now, like, when will I get to a 5-star read, and I finally did, and it was really made so much sense to me. Now I could go on and on about all the reasons I like this book, and I will. And it was just so cute. The story was so cute. Who she is as a person, who Chloe is, her personality was so easy to understand her and relate to her. Her everything, like, nothing was overly done that is glaring in your face, but was still done enough that you can understand why she is where she is. So I'm not going to go into the story itself, so I won't give any spoilers, but just know it's so good. The story is so good. And then there's the male lead, Red. His story is also who he is as a person, like the idea of, I think it's just about what points in their lives they found each other, because they didn't find each other where they were at their weakest. They found each other when they had both chosen to start doing better for themselves. So hearing about his story too was so, I had like sad feelings for them, kind of thing. I didn't cry, but I could have cried. It was like, depending on my hormones or my mood, I could have cried for them. But their story was just so cute. Like, I keep going on and on about how cute it was because it was so darn cute. And it wasn't just that they got to a point, it wasn't just that their lives, like their romance, started at a point where they were on a journey to who they wanted to be, but we also saw how they were growing in small ways, in significant ways, but we saw the changes happen. It wasn't just instant in your face. We saw the little things that shaped why they wanted to change something for themselves. That epic moment where you have something as a realization, all those kinds of stuff, we saw those things unfold, and the way it happened just felt so realistic, so natural, and so relatable. And really, I related with these characters so much. But before I get into why I related to these characters, like, I'll talk about other parts of the book. Like, her sisters. I usually, when I read romance books and we know there's going to be a second, now I don't know if I'm going to read the next part because I have like a thing with romance books that I usually don't read the next parts if it's like another person's story, because characters are usually written in contradiction, in like a contradiction, very opposite from the first character. So if I enjoy the first character story, the chances of me liking the next character story will be slim. So I usually avoid reading the next part of romance. But her sister seemed interesting, so I might still read the books. Then there's her grandmother Gigi, who is a very colorful character, and just so many characters in the book were quite colorful, quite interesting. And while we don't dive into them so much, there's still enough interest for us to understand Chloe's life and to understand their life, and also to get a glimpse into what the next book could feel like. Then of course there was sexy time of the story, which I can't get into because I'm trying to keep my videos PG. But all right, the best description I can give you is that the sexy time scenes were written so artistically, and like even without all those steamy parts, you just Reg was just so darn cute. So such like the openness, the willingness, the effort he put in. It just is like the bar where the bar should be, but at the same time it just felt like the bar went up. Like if you're ever in a position where you're contemplating on a guy, read this book, and if he doesn't measure up, that's your answer, basically. So yeah, let me get back into why I said I really liked the character so much. I just felt like both of them had like a piece of me that sometimes it's hard for me to explain to people. The whole when you're dealing with something and you're working at it, but not everybody gets it. The personality, the way I see things, the way I relate to things, the way I plan my list, the way it's just, there are different aspects of them that make so much sense to me, and I could just feel like the person, like as I was reading the story, that the writer understood who I was. So it just made it feel so much more to me. And also there was a left-hand representation because I'm left-handed and Red's left-handed. And why I needed that was because the day I actually picked up this book to read, like it was a Tuesday. It was so funny to me because right before I picked up the book, I had an encounter with someone who was giving me a hard time throughout the day. And as I was dealing with that, the icing on the cake was when I had to meet the person and pay the person cash. There was an issue of me using my left hand to pay, and we know how like some parts of Nigeria have the culture thing so ingrained that if you're using your left hand to pay, you're being disrespectful. But people don't consider the fact that left-handed people are being disrespected. Like, how can you tell me that there's something wrong with my left hand? So you're disrespecting me. Like, of course, at this point, I always stand my ground. So take your money or leave it, but I'm not going to let you disrespect me. But those encounters sometimes sour my mood, and I felt like my mood was soured. Then I opened the book, first page, first line talked about how bad things always seem to happen on Tuesdays, and that was a Tuesday, so it felt like, okay, yes, I'm already related to the book. And then I read it and find out about the character being left-handed, and I just felt like everything just made me feel like I was reading about myself in some ways and some decisions I want to make, and it just made me accept the story so much more that even before I finished reading the book, I was so sure I was going to give it a 5 stars. Like, the ending could have gone almost anyhow and I would still have given this book 5 stars. It was so cute. Like, I stress the word cute because romance books, to me, the cuter the better, and this was so cute. So in summary, if you didn't already realize, I really liked the book. I think reading about their journey, reading about their personalities, reading about different kind of people in their life, how things just happen, how the story just goes, It's such a nice read and it's an easy, quick read. So there's still time for us to read it before Valentine's Day or on Valentine's Day. Just read it, enjoy the book, or read anytime really, because it's worth the read no matter when you're reading it. And that's it for my review of Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I will let you know if I eventually pick up the second book, and maybe I'll leave a review of it too, who knows. You can leave comments for any other book recommendations. You have books that are similar to this, books you've enjoyed, romance books you've enjoyed. I would love to read them. And that's it for my video today. If you've liked this review, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a thing. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.